It has been a while since I last made a Shock of God video. I thought it was a good idea to introduce the AOD to the separation of drama and fun, and I enjoyed that time a lot. But today has come to my attention that a person like Shock of God simply doesn't know when to quit. A couple of days ago, a person who identifies himself as non-religious released a video with the idea to compare Shock of God's so-called atheist checkmate question with that of a murder case. I couldn't resist laughing at the part where it was supposed to be joking, but unlike the recent cases I've seen, Shock manages to reveal his presence and turned on the asshole mode as usual. Although it wasn't the comment he left that made people pissed, but rather the indifference he displayed. Shock of God doesn't care if your loved ones are no more. To him, if you are an atheist, he'll grant himself the full license to troll. And he has done so for a number of years. But none of that really matters anymore. Strangely, with all the recent videos published as a message to Shock of God, the self-proclaimed Christian hero wannabe picks this particular video that is made by a user who had no subscribers at the time. So I became his first subscriber and decided to comment to Shock of God. My comment is about calling him out on the subject of password phishing that he committed in 2008 and 2009. His response, however, is the most fatal mistake that he has ever made in his career of a tricky internet criminal. He responds with, "Check your FBI file." First of all, Shock of God has been chasing us with this empty thread for over a year, and without success. In the days when he just took over the Alliance of Christ cult that was originally made by the Woods of Jordan, who had other intentions for it, Shock of God was known for playing dirty. You see, Shock is not the type of a man who would sully his hands to get a certain job done.
So, I need everyone to report. Also, if you're with law enforcement, please contact me. You know how we usually do it. And spread the word on this. It's going to take some work. We've already had a bunch of the channels suspended and taken down. Some people even getting in trouble legally. And, you know, we wish that wouldn't happen, but look at the stuff that goes on. What we're going to have to do as a community on YouTube, we're going to have to go through a little bit of this for a while, and then after a couple of people are arrested, a couple of people are fined, a couple of people are embarrassed, it won't happen anymore.
A job being mass flagging campaign so he could make a victory video about it like he did when the so-called Evil Alliance of Blasphemy channel got suspended. Everyone knew he got butthurt for the content the channel provided. Everyone knows he was a mastermind behind it, and he didn't even stop at this. He finally continued the mess and managed to get busted for the second phishing scheme in September 2009. A video was made by Nessa544, who posted it as a third in his series of exposing the Alliance of Christ for criminals and supporters of terrorism. A terrorism as equal to the Utah cult. After Nessa's video found its way on the atheist radar, many followed to mass mirror it further into the public domain. Out of all the mirrors, the ones posted on my channel managed to get a score over 2,000 views. Soon after the publicity, when this information was leaked, the only responses that the Alliance of Christ could produce was made by the defender force of Shock and not the man himself. Shock thought it was a good idea to remain silent and pretend nothing big was going on. As many of us noticed this behavior, many decided to call Shock of God out on it and found themselves blocked in mere moments, myself included. Soon after commenting on the videos made in defense of Shock of God, a block follows and a friendly message saying you are ignorant idiots who have no website skills. Oh really? I asked. So after investigating the so-called experts on web design and web programming, I found myself swimming with amateurs who only learned a thing or two about domain forwarding and basic browser knowledge. The series I made that reveal their claims to be false are posted on my personal channel. Links will be dumped into the description bar. Recently I discovered the reincarnation of a channel made by someone you have probably heard from, Fool for a Lifetime. Yes, that guy. DMCA censor happy Fool for a Lifetime. I thought the least I could do was giving him and Crazy316 my regards in a comment. I did not expect them to reply since they don't like me very well, and I wonder why. So I informed them about Shockofgod's phishing case once again, and guess what happens? I get a comment from Crazy316 telling me that there is massive amounts of evidence disproving Shockofgod being a fisher. Then he tells me that I am a cross-dressing homo troll. Really now, Crazy? And yet you keep asking why you are hated and you continue to play the victim card? I find it pleasing to hear that other Christians reject the self-proclaimed true followers of Jesus like yourself. And speaking of Jesus, I wonder what he has to say about your behavior, Crazy316. And this is not all. In the moment I felt like replying, I noticed my comment got removed and the channel receiving a nice message in red letters. Blocked by the user. Way to go for credibility. Crazy316, also known as Andre, an individual who feels no shame calling himself a real man, a man who openly supports Shockofgod, and a guy you are all familiar with, Sean, who reports himself as God Guns God's Glory. A man who is even more proud to call himself a real man, manages to get more than 7 channels suspended for hate speech, and yet he bitches about how YouTube violates his own right to free speech, apparently never learned to respect the rules of the house. His famous act is the song called Slay the Faggot, in which he proudly produced to piss off the gay community. Andre supported this until the backfiring shitstorm found its way to their quarters. Andre got offended and felt the need to scream for attention.
How's it going, YouTube? It's Crazy316. Today we're going to expose a YouTube user, Voctor2100, I believe his name is. We're going to expose him for the blatant, bold-faced liar that he is, spreading lies against members of the Alliance of Christ. So let me start off with God Guns Guts and Glory. He makes the claim that God Guns Guts and Glory is inciting violence against homosexuals with his song titled Slay the Faggots. I don't like that word because to me it's like a cuss word, so from now on I'll use homosexual, but for that one I had to reference it right. This song has absolutely nothing to do with actually killing homosexuals. This is a song about a story of an old homosexual male that is stalking another boy or another young man that's working. It's about self-defense and protecting yourselves from homosexual stalkers. That's what it was about, and it was a joke. So you fail on that note. The next claim that this idiot atheist makes is that God, Guns, Guts, and Glories and his daughters were false DMCAing some of the members of the Trolls of Terror. They were flagging down videos that were portraying his daughters in a filthy, foul, disgusting manner, and they were spreading stuff, lies about incest and stupidity like that. The next claim that this idiot atheist makes,
telling other people that they are idiots or fools when they don't believe you doesn't prove your case. It proves one has a difficulty with how to handle evidence or suspicion. Andre and Sean are openly supported by Shockofgod, reported as Richard Allen Garcia. In September 2009, the AOD was only a month of age and had 100 of encouraging subscribers, telling me to not give up on Shockofgod. It is only a matter of time before I will have the evidence I need. I was only hoping he would fall for the temptation and make another attempt with one of his many domains, allianceofchrist.com. This way I could finally record it on cam so it could be displayed from a first-person perspective, away from the screen, just like in Shockofgod's videos, where he hides his face. This is the only solid evidence lacking in NASA's video, because it contains a software like Cam Studio, which records directly from a computer screen. In addition, he used clips of smaller YouTube channels that are witnesses who testify by saying they have seen the website change into a phishing scheme. They saw the fake YouTube login page, which was actually the one referring to 2008, because everyone did see the phishing page. and I am only a witness to the one of 2009 when Nessa called me to take a look at the channel. I can only say this is true because I saw it too, however it counts as evidence for me only. Still, this is why I keep pushing the urge to nail Shockofgod for a crime that he did do. I'm not here to nail him for something that he did not do, such as impersonating Thunderfoot's PayPal accounts, unless of course there is evidence. The only items I have at my disposal now are Google, a couple of videos, and Shockofgod's comments, revealing the very man who can't take the heat when you bring this to his attention. So here I am delivering you Shockofgod from my perspective. A collection of multi-perceptions of many. Richard Allen Garcia, a man who wished he could be the Jesus police on YouTube. A man who never showed his face, yet it pains him when he sees this very picture of himself. A man who has no balls, no rationality, no functional logic, and yet a history full of bullying, providing hate speech, plagiarism, mass flagging campaigns, phishing, and oh, what do we have here? Calling child protective services to have a child removed because paganism is evil. In another case, the Alliance of Christ declared war against an underground group known as the Trolls of Terror, a group of users who made a series entitled Alliance of Christ Exposed. Richard's friend Sean hated the TOT so much that he decided to make a video in which he takes a couple of children to a desert to shoot bullets into a painted sign that says Trolls of Terror. And this is what made the lulz inject to the internet, as it revealed the fall of Sean. God Guns God's Glory managed to get more channels suspended than his friend Richard, who complains about YouTube taking down his 7 Christian channels. He blames YouTube for being biased as he says, "I got suspended for just reading the Bible."
You know, as you guys know, I have been on YouTube since the year 2006. And what I have to announce tonight, I'm really excited about. For those of you that don't know me, in 2006, I came to YouTube. I have no problems. I filmed motorcycle helmet cam videos. I noticed, however, that anytime I shared my faith in Jesus Christ, the anti-Christians on YouTube would attack me viciously. There was no tolerance on YouTube for Jesus Christ, no respect for Jesus Christ, or His Word in the Bible. My channel, as you know, was attacked 7 times.
Now let's get this straight. In the year 2009 I owned a channel named Alliance of Blasphemy, which was originally made to piss off some theists with parody videos like you can see in Crazy Pastor Fred. The subscriber base was quite low at the time being, but within a month it gained 100. At this point it was a good opportunity to present the viewers a case of Shockofgod and his crew. Then the shitstorm came along, and a guy who reports himself as Hordeofchrist expressed his feelings of being offended and assigns the channel with a Christ-like warning. Within a week, 2 parody videos received a warning strike, and the channel got suspended. I already had a first warning strike, which was an automatic one on a video that contained the intention of comparing Sean with a homophobic Nazi. The second one contained a picture that YouTube perceives as gore that crosses the line. It was literally depicting a cross being shoved down someone's throat. Someone being nailed to a bed, of course. And a text saying that religion is being shoved down your throat. The third strike, however, was tactically delivered, and Hordeofchrist was too happy to announce the coming of the third flag. The video was a parody of Fred Phelps. All that was in there was his speech with some of his own words swapped in order so it would sound like, "The evil Westboro Baptist Church is doomed." The video was taken down and the channel got suspended. A couple of moments later, Richard uploaded a video in which he expresses his so-called victory over evil. Today I found a comment on Hordeofchrist's channel delivered by Shockofgod himself, who proves that these two are still buddies. The AOB may be gone with 200 subs, but in its place it was a good idea to start a new channel. First, I thought it was a good idea to dedicate it completely to the subject of exposing Shock of God, but everyone can already agree with the fact that it is boring to have all your videos about the same subject. Richard posts 4 to 5 videos about his anti-atheistic rants each day. However, with a channel that has 1800 subs currently, the power of my voice has grown and continues to grow. This is seen in response videos made by Binary Judy, Zach Schroeder, and a couple of comments made by Weatherman Kevin. Not to forget the infamous Diana Boston. So in order to force a response from Shock of God, I could ask you to support this voice and help the message spread. Coughlin616 tried to call Shock of God out on the phishing subject as well, but it never helped. All Shock of God did when he reviewed Coughlin's video was skipping the entire middle and going straight away for the dog-eared parts of the video. I am going to play the skip part of Coughlin's video right now.
I'd like to ask, when I finally answered this question, I've got a question for Shock of God. What do you think about people who do like phishing with a PH on other people's YouTube channels? What do you think of that? Think that's wrong? When people hack into other people's YouTube channels, do you think that's wrong? Do you think it's right for someone who was banned from a website for hacking into other people's channels? Do you think that they come back here? Do you think that's right?
I've made several amounts of videos about Shock of God, none of them revealed, yet I am on his list of people who kick his ass. I don't understand, because he never made a video about my work, but I can guess why he doesn't have the courage. He's afraid that people might find the videos I made about his password phishing and his open support of a dangerous homophobe. People can only agree when one says that Shock of God is not to be trusted. There are even groups of Christians who begin to reject him. Richard has been trying to get the attention of Thunderfoot, Don Exodus 2, Aaron Ra and DPR Jones, but all attempts failed, and all he does is making videos telling the world how these big YouTube atheists fail in the Christian community. But when you invite him for a debate on Blog TV, he needs an eternity to collect the balls required for the courage. And when you tell him that you don't prefer him to be a debate moderator because you don't trust him, he kicks you out of the chat room. I've almost reached 2 years in my quest for exposing Shock of God and the Alliance of Christ, and even with help, I still can't get through. However, Crazy316 is right, he has more subs than I do. But if subscribers really determine the viral potential of a video message, then I'll be glad to inform you that I am not alone. And I will certainly not back down when you Alliance of Christ tards threaten me with an FBI case that you don't have. That's right, no entries are found. Your flagging missions have failed, DMCAs against Cassie Dale videos are ineffective, and blocking is no longer going to be your friend. Shock, I am giving very serious thought of visiting your radio show, and I hope you will bring the audience who will witness a show you'll remember forever. You won't know who I am, but just a random non-Christian who will tell you why you lost 7 accounts on YouTube.
If you're watching this, do me a favor, please. Go ahead and click share below this video and spread the word on this. It's going to take some work. We've already had a bunch of the channels suspended and taken down. Some people even getting in trouble legally.
Please check the video on that. Has shown that the website has changed. And why? Simple, because his website looked like as if you were on the YouTube website watching his channel. Actually, in so far that you might actually try to log into your YouTube account through his website, which is phishing, which is forbidden.
I saw his homepage. I saw the fake sign-up page. I saw that with my own 2 eyes. Pagan Ron was not lying. I saw that, and I would be willing to testify to that in any court of law and in any court whatsoever that I saw that. And I didn't instantly connect it with phishing because I wasn't looking for it. So that was, that was my bad. I need to be a little more. I need to keep my eyes open a little bit more. And thankfully, I didn't sign in. But again, I would be willing to testify on any affidavit, any court of law that I saw that. And Pagan One was not lying. And I think the only reason Shock is accusing him of lying is Shock doesn't want to get his ass fried for doing something illegal. And yes, fishing is illegal.
And that's about Shockofgod's phishing scam. Shockofgod stealing copyrighted audio, which, by the way, I have that proof, and I also have him on audio confessing that he stole that audio for his show.